Don't you understand?
They are predators.
They are going to chew the eyes right out of your head.
They are relentless.
They're coming for you.
And they are very, very hungry.
They will eat you alive.
Servus Freunde, my name is Jimmy Cage and it's that time of the year again. That time that one of the most fun and fascinating film festivals, the Slash, opens its gates here in Vienna to all lovers of the fantastic. And looking through their program this year, one movie in particular caught my interest. At first, I didn't really plan to make a review because, to be honest, it's pretty damn niche and I'm happy if this video will get a few hundred views. But after watching it, I felt it to be so special and unique that I just have to help create some awareness for it. The synopsis on the official site reads like this. A Stephen King television movie is compressed and transformed through hypnotic black and white collage animation that meticulously reconstructs and reshapes its supernatural drama to an eerie and profound effect. That Stephen King television movie is the 1995 two-part sci-fi horror mystery The LANGOLIERS, directed by Tom Holland. And this new kind of remix of it is Aristotelis Maragkos' The Timekeepers of Eternity. So what exactly is this? Basically, Maragkos took the more than 40,000 frames of the original, printed them and then rearranged them through some kind of collage animation. He took the original and created something new and deeply fascinating with it. It's basically an experimental film, something that I'm usually not drawn to at all, but this was different. Well, first of all, I think it's important to address that it's probably rather important that you are familiar with the original. If not, I guess it's still able to create a very particular mood and effect through its unique storytelling approach, but I think its strengths are really showing by the whole remix character. By experiencing something familiar, or at least something that you have a vague, distant memory of it in such a new and different way. Honestly, the movie was able to put a huge smile on my face pretty much from beginning to end. You see, the original LANGOLIERS has been one of those rather formative films from my childhood. I either saw it on German television at the end of 1996 or the beginning of 1997, and for a 10-year-old like me at the time, it definitely had a lasting effect. I still remember how I recorded it on VHS and how I watched the actual attack of the titular LANGOLIERS, who are these titular timekeepers of eternity, again and again. Which is quite funny in retrospect because that part has really the most laughable computer-generated effects you can imagine, even for a movie from 1995. But that didn't bother me as a child, and neither did that the original two-part movie is actually a total snooze fest. With a runtime of completely exaggerated 3 hours, there isn't really happening that much in it. And it also features some of the most bizarre and overacting performances. I wouldn't want to rewatch the original version as it's a pretty bad film, but I also really cherish the memory of it and what it was still able to convey to me at a young age. Which is also why I was so curious to watch this new remix of it. From the original 180 minutes, Maragkos cut it down to a tight 64. Now it comes in black and white, and most importantly, it has this very haptic, very interesting paper style. The film frames appear like paper sheets that are mixed together, that are torn, crumpled up, put on top of each other, double exposed, and so on. It's a visually super exciting approach, but it's also more than that, because it's such a cool and fitting way to retell the story. The LANGOLIERS, which was based on a Stephen King short story, tells the story of a group of random passengers on a flight on which all the other passengers have mysteriously disappeared. As we find out, our characters have somehow traveled back in time, and once they do, this new version of the story also begins to show these fractures all over the place. Fractures in time, fractures in these images. And it's done in a way that accentuates the actions and also the inner conflicts of our characters. I can only repeat myself that it's a really super cool device. And it also fits perfectly in another way, because one of our protagonists, the mentally unstable scumbag Craig Toomey, is always slowly tearing apart sheets of paper to relax his nerves. The Timekeepers of Eternity gave me a chance to re-experience the original LANGOLIERS in a fresh new way. Aristotelis Maragkos takes the super slow-paced 3-hour-long version and transforms it into this neat hour-long kind of Twilight Zone episode. And through this, it was also able to capture or remind me of the genuinely interesting horror elements that were in the original. The fear of flying, the strange feeling of time and being somewhat lost when you travel from one airport to another, being kind of removed from the actual real world and put into this time limbo. Condensed to 64 minutes and heightened through this very interesting and very fitting form, it's just a very unique experience. And at the same time, it's also quite fun how this new version of course can't quite hide the flaws or idiosyncrasies of the original. And I don't think it wants to hide them completely. The strong overacting, the ridiculous and pretentious monologues, silly dialogues, just the whole weird dynamic between these characters. And also some of the baffling turn of events later on. It's all still there and it's just fun and also just very nostalgic if you know the movie from back then. And last, but certainly not least, while the final revelation of the LANGOLIERS can be regarded as a huge letdown in the original, again, as a child I really loved it, but seeing it as an adult, it's pretty bad. The revelation in this new version is really awesome, because it's kind of the culmination of that whole paper approach, and it has this super tangible effect. So in German I'd say, Aristotelis Maragkos, The Timekeepers of Eternity ist eine super faszinierende Neuerzählung von Stephen Kings 1959 der LANGOLIERS Verfilmung, bei der Form und Inhalt großartig miteinander interagieren. Für Kenner des Originals ein wirklich toller, nostalgischer, unterhaltsamer und experimentierfreudiger, aber auch leicht zugänglicher Film-Remix. I give The Timekeepers of Eternity 8 out of 10. It's more like 8.4, but I don't do that. Alright, that's it like always. Comment below and let me know what you think about The Timekeepers of Eternity. And also let me know, have you seen the original TV movie? And if so, what are your memories of it? You can hit me up on Twitter, Instagram and Letterboxd and also on Patreon, simply at TheJimmyCage. And if you enjoyed this episode, please give me a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like. And make sure you hit that bell for all I have to tell.